Happy Thursday, August 1st. What the hell?
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
It's the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast coming at you live on the Sunnyside Summer Thursday. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois Med Card holders. Holy moly.
That's a deal.
50% off.
It's like 150% off or something.
Event, yeah, when you add them up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Confirmed.
I used to hate August as a kid.
Yeah, you're getting back to
Because
school.
it's like getting ready to go back to school. Now it's like August, finally. The last hockeyless month of the year. Because in September, we're going to start playing hockey again.
Camps and all that start up.
I still get anxiety when I enter a Target in July and back to school stuff. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
already.
I just yelled at my TV the other day, and my better half just rolled their eyes because it was a back to school commercial. I'm like, it's July. Give these kids their summer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And
And
then
then
some kids are like starting next week, which is insane.
Eddie starts 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, it's crazy. I live near Grays Lake Central High School, and on their video board, it's just like freshman orientation is like in 2 weeks. I'm just like, maybe it's just different either by a school district thing or just school starts earlier nowadays. But I remember high school starting like first week of September. Like you would get there, you'd have like a week of school, and then you'd have like Labor Day off, and then you'd
You
actually
kinda
like
ease
get into school.
ease into it. Right.
But like, yes, high school starting in mid-August, like that just feels so wrong to me. Like,
Well, if they get out in early May, it all
right,
comes
that
out.
it all
See, but I'd
pans
rather
out.
the CHGO educational conversation. I'd rather start later because now like the seasons have changed.
Right.
Right, like it's
Oh, yeah.
hot until like October.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's
And it doesn't
freezing
really,
in May.
it doesn't
and
really
June.
get warm until the middle of June.
Like July.
Yeah.
Basically when summer
Right.
starts.
So
Yeah.
you got to change it up.
Hey, Super Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
Hey, all.
Cool.
Like The Rock says, finally, I get to watch you live.
Nice.
I'm a healthcare worker. Well, bless you. And I work a lot of hours. Like to say you're all awesome. Love your content. Let's go Hawks. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this might be up your alley, Super Championship Wrestling, but we're doing a live SummerSlam watch along.
Hell yeah, brother.
Saturday night.
Saturday.
Who's producing that? Oh, shit, it's me.
Yeah,
you?
well,
Boy.
you were the
Damn it.
everybody
Thanks,
else.
Steven.
Steven's too
That's a
cool.
lot.
All the young, all of our young producers are going to Lollapalooza this weekend, so you have to get stuck
Works for me.
watching pro wrestling and
to be
eating
honest,
pizza with us.
I might
Yeah.
be going to a Lala after show after our SummerSlam
Way
stream.
too
Oh.
late.
Well, there you go.
I went to a
love
Lala
after shows.
after show. We saw Casey Musgraves at the Metro, which was amazing. It was the
Unreal.
golden
Nice.
hour era, like her
Oh, wow.
peak.
Yeah.
She didn't go on stage till 1:30. I was like, hey, I gotta go to bed. Let's go.
No.
You might be 19, but I'm old. Get on stage. Like I saw the Deftones, who I love, are playing a Lollapalooza after show, and I'm like, I want to go, but there's no way
Yeah.
I can stay up that late anymore. Like I do Riot Fest every year, and they do Riot Fest after shows, and like all these people like leave Riot Fest, go to the after show, and then come back for more Riot Fest the next day.
That's
How
what
do
I'm
you
talking
do
about.
this?
Well, yeah, no, you can't.
Crazy.
You need like one of those. I need a Rascal scooter for a day like that. And it's coming eventually.
You need
So
some chemical
Yeah.
chemical support to get you through those.
Some of my favorite all-time shows are Lala after shows. Like
Oh,
I said,
well,
no,
great.
I mean it was
Can they be
incredibly
at 2?
memorable.
Can
I
they
was
be
just-
Lala pre-shows and be at 2 in the
Pre-shows.
afternoon?
that would be great. That would be
Pre-shows,
great.
yeah.
Well, do us a favor. Smash that like button for us. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube page as well. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, thank you. Follow, subscribe, rate, review, all that great stuff. We are going to, for Top 10 Thursday, later in the show, share our ideal, I guess we'll say Lala headliners. We each chose 3 acts for 3 days, living or dead. I think we all went with the stipulation that we just assumed that everybody wants the Beatles reunited and brought back from the dead. So no one picked that, but we'll just all say the Beatles are the main headliner if we're bringing people back. But we're all sharing our things later in the show. But we want to start with a news story that I know has a lot of attention of our audience, the Jeff Marek story. If you haven't been paying attention, Jeff Marek, formerly of Sportsnet, hosts the 32 Thoughts podcast with Elliot Friedman, which is a go-to for the three of us. As soon as it drops, we're listening. Also hosts his own podcast, The Jeff Marek Show. Suddenly, after the first night of the draft, kind of went dark.
Yeah.
And The Athletic had some details. I'm not going to share the whole thing with you, but I can kind of give you the highlights here. Draft night, June 28th, 2024, will be Jeff Marek's last appearance for Sportsnet. Marek had come under scrutiny from the NHL during the first round of the draft for allegedly revealing to a friend which players teams were drafting moments before those picks were announced, according to league and media industry sources.
That's me clutching my pearls.
The NHL shared concerns about the situation with the Nevada Gaming Control Board, which probed further, according to multiple sources briefed on the investigation. As part of Sportsnet's crew on draft day, Marek was privy to the draft selections before they were publicly announced. This is common practice for broadcast rights holders. So, adding on here, also under the sphere that evening, working the draft was Mark Seidel, a former NHL scout, who also runs his own scouting service and is friendly with Jeff Marek. In Vegas, Seidel correctly predicted several picks on X, which prompted concerns that Marek had informed Seidel of who the teams were picking. So that's about the scope of the thing. There's a little more detail in there, but you can't gamble on draft picks as they're happening.
No, there's no live betting on draft picks because this was actually laid out here in The Athletic. It says from a publicly available document from the Nevada Gaming Control Board on requirements, licensed books must adhere to regarding wagers on the NHL draft. Acceptance of wagers which involve a specific player must cease 24 hours prior to the start of the first round. So as the first round of the draft was happening, you couldn't bet who do you thought was going to be picked, pick by pick. That you had to place those the day before at the deadline. The biggest thing it seems like is that Marek was informing a friend who also does draft analysis. And I think the sticking point is this Mark Seidel guy, or did I get his name right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Words, tweets that I guess allude to if you're going to bet on player X going to this team, that would be my guess. But if he's doing it while the draft is happening,
2 minutes
it's all closed.
Well, and that's Adrian Wojnarowski's been doing this for years, where it says all signs are pointing to, because he had to get around, like he didn't want to beat the coverage.
I mean, him and Shams report everything before they're
everything happens.
They tweet out the picks like 5 minutes before they happen.
I mean, if this was illegal, Adam Schefter should be in a Siberian prison colony right now.
Well,
that's this whole thing.
And the other thing that I love about this report, and it's not a slight to the Athletic and to Katie Strang and Dan Robson, who put this story together. At the very end, it says Corey Pronman contributed to this article as well. Well, if you'll remember the 2020 NHL draft, which was virtual, Corey Pronman was announcing all the picks on his own before they actually happened. And it happens all the time. Frank Saravalli had the entire Seattle Kraken expansion draft before the actual broadcast even happened.
He's the head of the Writers Association.
So if you're talking about like, oh, this was proprietary information that was disseminated, and because it was in Vegas, you get the gambling, but you couldn't gamble on. I just don't.
Something's missing.
No dots are connected here that what Jeff Marek did was a fireable offense.
Unless there's language in his contract that he violated that we don't know about.
Yeah, sharing
Sure.
Sharing privileged information. That's what Jason T says. I love Marek, but he was abusing privileged information. I'm a little surprised he would do that, betting or not. But
Elliot
guys
Friedman's
do that
made his
all
whole
the time.
career.
That's what.
with
That's what.
privileged information.
That's
That's their show.
Being an insider is gaining access to privileged information.
32 Thoughts is nothing but privileged information.
Yes.
It's the whole show.
And look, like whether you're, and I'll tell you this too. I assure you, this Mark Seidel character has insights that he gives Jeff Marek as a former scout. Like you talk, how did Jeff Marek? This guy used to be a scout for the Minnesota Wild. So look back. I'll bet during Mark Seidel's time with the Minnesota Wild, Jeff Marek's got some Wild scoops, and that's how this insider game works. When any of us get scoops, it's from someone who has something that they can't release right away. Whether it's someone with the team or someone close to the team or close to a player, whatever it might be. This is the game.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the game of being an insider.
And a lot of that stuff, they want it to get out. It just
Sure.
can't come officially from the team.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's good for Sportsnet when Jeff Marek has things first. And I'm sure they didn't have a problem when Seidel was giving him insider tips to, hey, I got this Minnesota Wild story that nobody else has.
Well, and this guy also, works within the OHL with the Barrie Colts. And Jeff Marek always has very interesting OHL insights and news and inputs. Like, it's probably a source of where that came from. And that's a benefit to Sportsnet.
And for you, the hockey fan, it's a benefit. You want
To be informed.
media covering the game that is not writing, not that I'm not saying anything against the people that write for NHL.com or team websites, but they're beholden to the league or the team. You're not going to see an insider scoop break on ChicagoBlackhawks.com. You're going to see an official press release, maybe exclusive interview one-on-one with the new player, whatever it might be. But in terms of, you want this breaking news, this stuff that when we're doing our free agency shows, we're getting the stories before the Hawks ever send a release. We knew 2 of the signings before the noon even hit, right? Like, that's because of the work of these insiders, and that's how this game works. So with the information we have, this doesn't make a ton of sense unless Sportsnet was just like, this is too messy. We don't want anything to do with this, and we need, I don't know, it's very strange. The article goes on to say that according to, I think they said 4 people close to Marek, that he's not a bettor at all. He doesn't even read the sports betting ads on the show. Like, he's kind of has pushed against that. So it seems like a massive, either a massive overreaction or like a huge piece of this story is missing.
I think something's missing.
And there has to be either something missing, or for whatever reason, I don't know why you would do it, but maybe Sportsnet was looking for a reason to not have Jeff Marek around, but also that's a poor business decision if you're Sportsnet, because he's one of the best assets that they've had as far as hockey coverage. And I don't know. Either something's missing, or there had to be something that someone was just trying to look for a reason to get out from Marek being around. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, especially with how intertwined not just the NHL, but all of sports and betting on sports has become over the past couple of years. For it to just basically be like flat laid out, Marek's not into betting. He wasn't doing this for any personal gain. Seidel probably wasn't doing it for any personal gain as it comes to gambling. You couldn't actually gamble live on with using that information would have been useless to you because you couldn't actually do it. It seems like at most, it would make sense to me at most that this is like a slap on the wrist offense. Like, hey, let's not do that next time. That they were just like, nope, this is a hammer drop.
Well, and the other thing too is 99.9% of the people that happen to be following Mark Seidel and Jeff Marek have no idea of that connection. They're not like, this is something that didn't really get out.
It's a personal
If a story had come out that Jeff Marek is leaking stories to a scout or whatever it might be, and then there's a reaction, but they pull him off the draft after day 1, and then he's gone. Like, it's just very, very strange. It just does not. It doesn't make sense. And like you said, Mario, a bunch of times, like, you can't bet live on specific players going. So the benefit here for Seidel is, hey, Jeff, we're buddies. I give you some tips. I could use my social media following to get bigger, to help me grow my scouting services. If I break some draft picks today, maybe I can gain another 100, 200 followers on draft day. That's going to help me out big time. Can you throw me a couple bones?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, yeah, sure. This is for the info you give me on the Wild back in the day and the OHL now. I'll throw you a couple draft picks and you'll look smart and everyone's happy.
At most, he was using that information to be, just like the broadcast, prepared for the next pick that was going to be announced, so that he could be ready with analysis and be like, one of the first guys to be like, hey, they picked this guy. Here's my analysis on it, rather than be reactionary and to help out a friend in the industry to be able to do that. I don't find that to be egregious whatsoever. And I don't know. I just, if someone came to us and was just like, hey, I know for sure it's going to be Levshinov, just so you guys are prepared for that, I'd be like, okay. I'll say I was on the draft floor for night one. I had previously written a Blackhawks select Artem Levshinov article and a Blackhawks select Ivan Demidov article. They were very shell pieces were just like pick and choose the stats and the names and one for each of them. If someone had told me like it's definitely going to be Levshinov, like have that one ready, okay, cool. Like that just benefits us, and benefits someone in our position to be like we're prepared to present, the best coverage possible.
Well, look, there was one Blackhawks insider, the one that we all agree is probably the most plugged in, that was saying it's going to be Levshinov for a month.
Right.
Scott Powers knew for a month the pick was Levshinov. He said it definitively many, many times. That is doing the work of getting sources, working those sources, and getting information, verifying the information, double verifying the information, and then he didn't flat out tweet the Blackhawks will be drafting Artem Levshinov, but everything you read, every time you listened to Laz Powers, he was saying, I'm pretty sure the pick's going to be this.
Yeah.
That's the insider work. This is how this game is done. And that's how you, the consumer, get the news first, and not only from official sources, which is how it should be. Because if news from official sources is never on time, really. It doesn't seem. Yeah. All right, we're in the break zone. When we come back, some good news for AHL fans. But first, between some of your favorite hockey media no longer having jobs and social media and presidential race coming up, it's no wonder we're more worked up than ever.
Am I getting fired?
Coors Light celebrates rising above and choosing a chill mindset. No, I said favorite. Why not turn a rained out barbecue into a karaoke house party? That sounds awful. Or after a tough loss, settle scores with an ice cold peace offering. Make the choice to choose chill, then reach for a Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment. You know that by now. When those mountains turn blue, your Coors Light is as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, and the summer games are going on. We can't say the other word.
Can't?
Nope. Well, we can, but we'll probably hear from a lawyer. Football, the Bears, it's starting tonight. Lots of stuff to go on, and that is where our friends at Prize Picks helps you and your sports watching become a little more exciting and puts more money in your pocket. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Just that easy. Get in on the excitement and sign up to win 100 times your cash with the summer games on Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you can turn that $10 into $1,000 while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer. You can make a Prize Pick lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more. And in just as little as 60 seconds, just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. So download the Prize Picks app today and use the code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
It is that easy. Prize Picks is a lot of fun. We do it for every Hawks game, every NHL night, basically, when the season rolls around.
I'm a little shocked, Jay, that earlier you were talking about scoops, and you said, when we get scoops, and I thought for sure you were going to make an ice cream reference and make a self.
No, I just go buy it. It's usually go to Dairy Queen and get some scoops. Maybe Zarlengo's. Oh, I meant to do that. I got to do that still.
Yeah, where's my root beer float?
I forgot.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. I'll bring it next week. Sounds good. All right, so we got some AHL news. Greg, would you like to share?
Sure. According to Tony Andrakidis, I hope I said that right.
Andrakidis.
My Greek brother.
He's Tony is a longtime reporter of the AHL. Him and Patrick Williams are the best two AHL guys to follow for your news. But according to a report from him, the American Hockey League's streaming platform AHL TV will now be accessible on a new platform beginning this season. That was according to some information that AHL team season ticket holders received. The league will be...
he had inside information?
Well, not really. Season ticket holders forwarded him their email that they got from the team.
I don't like that.
He doesn't work for Sportsnet. He's fine. Those crybabies at Sportsnet. The league will be migrating their streaming service to Flow Sports. We know Flow Sports. Our pal Chris Peters is part of that group. The current rate for the Flow Sports Network is $30 a month, or you can get the whole year for $150. If you do the math, that's a really good deal. That's like 9 months free.
Do we know, is that every team?
Well, that's for the entire Flow Sports service, not just the AHL.
Oh,
so you get.
Oh, okay.
They also show games from the ECHL, the SPHL, the CGHL, the Canadian Junior A League, the USHL, and the BCHL, plus tons of other sports. Lots of college.
A lot of college, yeah.
A lot of college, like Division II, lower level, softball, basketball. If you're a big auto racing fan, they have a ton of auto racing on, like a lot of the short tracks from all over the country. Tons of stuff on there. So you're not just paying the $30 a month just for AHL. You get all that other hockey plus a lot of sports. And at $150 for the whole year seems kind of expensive, but
it's worth it.
It's not as expensive as and Tony later went on to say in a follow-up tweet that that's just the Flow Sports overall package to get access to everything they have. There still may be some just the AHL for a certain price or just the hockey for a certain price.
But what's the season? AHL full season is close to that, isn't it?
It's like $100. I thought
to get it was something. It was like for if you wanted to watch all Rockford games, it was something like, was it like $60 for the year?
You can
just Rockford.
When they originally brought it, it was every game.
Yeah.
And it was
like
really expensive.
$400.
But then they went to AHL TV, it came down. But then the last couple years, they tiered it. You can get just one team's games. You can get just one team's home games, just one team's road games.
Or you could get everything.
And so I'm not sure those kind of breakdowns are coming, but they're added to an already existing service. I'm not sure, Flow Sports, I would imagine they have apps for all your different streaming services.
Yes, they do.
So
Android, iOS, Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, and Chromecast.
So there you go.
That pretty much covers all the streaming.
You get all the Ice Hogs games, all these other games. You can watch the Indy Fuel. You can watch the Chicago Steel. You can keep track on some of the between that and the college hockey on ESPN Plus. You'll be able to keep your tabs on a lot of prospects next year. So that's the report going around today.
And he also points out here in his report at InsideAHLHockey.com, you can subscribe to him if you want to. It says AHL TV was built by Hockey Tech, who developed Hockey TV, which is the product Flow took over a few years ago. So he assumes that the transition from AHL TV to Flow Hockey will not affect the overall quality of the streaming product moving forward. So that's good. That's good news, because I mean, it is hit and miss with some different AHL teams for their broadcast quality. Some of them have really professional, like really high quality stuff, and some of them are less than that.
Some of them you're gonna get the scoreboard feed.
Yeah,
like the game that's on the shot that's on the scoreboard is what you get, which is weird during stoppages of play because all you see is like the kiss cam and you know, people waving. So,
kind of voyeuristic.
Yeah. Some of you people pay a lot more than $150 for that kind of stuff. But as Evil Bill says in the chat, it was $105 last year for AHL TV. So if you do it annually, you're paying $45 more, but you get
everything.
You remember too. Stuff. You also, when the AHL playoffs come around, you have to then pay for a playoff package too.
It re-ups,
which is another 30 or something like that.
At least,
yeah.
So it's probably gonna even out.
Right, and so I'm sure there'll be more information as this is officially announced. But we thank Tony for the report today. Could be some fun stuff. I know a lot of people are going to want to have more eyeballs on the Rockford Ice Hogs this year with all the prospects playing there, and over the next 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to be a very important team for this future success of the Blackhawks. So there is a better way, I think, to watch it with Flow Sports, because the AHL TV app was hit or miss too. Sometimes it just wouldn't work, and then you'd have to stream it on your computer. And then so Flow Sports, I've watched some stuff on them before. They're very reliable. So they're should be. I think it's a great move. It gives them a wider distribution, and it's going to make it easier for fans to watch the Ice Hogs or whatever AHL team you want to watch this year.
Just to be clear, is it it's $150 for their entire menu of sports?
I believe so.
Okay, because it looks like, and I'm whatever, my password is not working, but it looks like you might be able to do just hockey too.
Right. I believe that was speculated, but none of those prices have been released yet.
Okay.
Because they're probably I imagine they're going to bump it up if AHL is included.
Yeah.
Because it's more people are going to want it. So of course you're going to raise the price.
But I also think though that will probably be their biggest driver. I would imagine that's probably the biggest league they have.
That, or I do think they do really well with their auto racing coverage.
Okay.
Because they do like auto races from across the country, like the sprint cars and the dirt car stuff, and that stuff's got huge following. So it's probably, if I were to guess, they probably do more money off the auto racing, especially in the United States, than hockey. But it's probably right up there. So I would imagine there's different. You can probably get just the hockey package.
Well, when this becomes official, it'll be a good opportunity to talk to our friend Chris Peters. So let's hope it happens soon, because I miss Chris. He did put out a warning tweet ahead of the draft. Do not call me or ask for me as soon as this draft ends. I am done talking about it.
It's been a month.
I need a month off.
It's been a month.
I think it's time to start bothering
it's
Chris
August,
again.
Man. Come on,
been a
Chris
month.
Peters. Let's go.
We'll bribe him with an Italian beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Seriously.
Whatever you need.
Give him the old beef sleeve.
Still got that in the basement.
Got to bring that out to
All right.
Cog Hill at the end of the month in 3 weeks.
I'll come in handy.
Yeah. Bring some beefs, and maybe I'll pack our ice cream in there.
There you
Ice
go.
cream sleeve.
Together?
Yeah.
Beefs and ice cream?
Yeah. Well, I'll put like a sock in between.
That'll work.
A new sock.
Otherwise, you're gonna have a thunderstorm in the middle of your.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's hit the break zone when we come back with Lollapalooza starting up today. Based on the people I saw walking around the neighborhood today, we're going to share our dream lineups. But first, we got to tell you about our friends with the Illinois pork producers. If you don't know by now, everybody, it is grilling season. Go get your pork.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an active person, you're going to need more protein than the average American. In fact, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Dietitians of Canada and the American College of Sports Medicine recommend 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for athletes, depending on your training. So, for instance, a 150-pound person, that's about 81 to 136 grams of protein per day. 1 3-ounce serving of pork, call that an appetizer, provides 23 grams of high-quality protein that can help active individuals build and preserve strong muscle. Do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. Elevate your protein game with lean pork, a powerhouse of natural goodness. Savor the flavor, savor the gains, and celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois pig farmers, from your sausage and your bacon for breakfast to pulled pork or juicy chops hot off the grill. It's an entire season dedicated to the pork and the people behind the product, paid for by the Illinois pork producers. Generations of commitment, and maybe that's why the pork I had in Kansas City was not good.
It was Missouri pork.
Yeah.
Inferior pork.
Definitely not Illinois pork.
Yeah.
Everything is worse.
I
in
said I
Missouri.
should have brought my own pork.
Should've.
I joked about it. Should have done it.
Could have kept it in the beef sleeve.
Just
Pork-
ride a
pork
pig
sleeve.
right into the restaurant.
Yeah.
Cut it up and cook it.
This guy, I want this one. He's got an Illinois stamp on his buttocks.
Yeah. Well, a good place to get Illinois pork is out at the ballparks this summer. And if you want to get out there and save enough money for that pork, buy your tickets through Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, the views from your seats feature, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying your MLB tickets this season. You love those last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off by buying at the last minute for not just baseball games, all kinds of sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater events, whatever you want to try and go and see. Game Time has a deal for you. They got the flash deals, so you can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the event. And the all-in pricing allows you to see what you're going to pay up front right away. There is no getting to the checkout and then, here's $60 in extra fees you didn't know that you were going to be paying. With the all-in pricing, what you see is what you're going to pay. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets this season with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CHGO, and you're going to get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, download the app, create an account, and redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Guess who used Game Time this weekend?
You.
This guy.
Nice.
When we decided to go to the Sunday Cubs Royals game.
Nice.
Opted on Game Time the night before. 3 tickets for $20 each.
Not
too
bad.
shabby.
Beautiful.
Not bad.
Got in wonderful seats. Saw the Cubs win again. I am undefeated at Cubs games this year.
You
There
should.
you go.
Wait, I mentioned
Why are you
that.
not part of the 120 club?
I mentioned that on
Yeah,
Monday. That apparently the Cubs would be in first place if all of our Friday shows were just from the bleachers.
Hey, man.
If Harry Carey
They got
can
Wi-Fi.
broadcast from the bleachers, so can we.
You got phones?
That's right.
We'll
They
take
got
our shirts
Wi-Fi.
off, too.
They got Wi-Fi at
Phones.
Wrigley.
Maybe maybe give us one of them special conference rooms I heard they have over there.
Maybe.
They are
Do
going
that.
to.
Could do that too.
Did I tell you about this?
No, sir.
Lawrence, we are a go for the Winter Classic.
Oh, I did hear something
Hooray.
about that, yeah.
Very
Look at
exciting.
us. Look at us.
Look
Look
at
at
us. All right.
But before we get into our
Yes.
our musical lineups here, I want to give a shout out. Our Bears show is coming up today.
Bears.
There's
I
a
want to give it.
football
I
game.
learned something awesome today in our CHGO newsletter that comes to your mailbox, your email box, which you should be signed up for because it's awesome.
Should
I
be.
learned that DJ Moore, who just signed a new 4-year, $1 billion contract.
110 milli.
Sure, same thing in my world. That might as well be $1 billion.
Infinite amount of money.
Celebrated it with a feast of Popeye's fried chicken.
Ooh,
My
there you
man.
go.
My
There you go.
man,
I think
DJ
I
Moore.
may also
Good stuff.
celebrate DJ Moore's contract with
I-
Popeye's chicken.
I celebrate Wednesday with Popeye's fried chicken. I love it when these like superstar professional athletes just, Greek god bodies.
Oh yeah.
And then they go.
Well, he's gonna go burn it off.
They go tear down an 8-piece from Popeyes.
Yeah.
Because he signed 110
DJ Moore
million.
gets an 8-piece and then goes and runs out in the 100-degree heat.
Yeah.
And
he'll sweat it
works
off.
out all day.
Yeah.
I do that and I go to bed.
Right.
By the way,
I wake up 6 hours later in the same position on the couch.
yeah, this is a question for the fat and the fat at heart. Maybe this is for my other podcast, but does anyone have like an arbitrary food line that they will not cross? Like mine is that I can't have fried chicken for lunch. Like for me, like that's the line I've drawn of like this is too unhealthy for me. Like that's
I don't.
Although I
understand
will
that.
have boneless wings for lunch,
Well, that's fried chicken.
but I can't have like KFC, Popeyes on the bone fried chicken for lunch. For whatever reason, that is the arbitrary health line I have drawn myself.
We should take you to Gus's fried chicken.
Is it a health thing or is it a this food doesn't feel like lunch food thing? If you're
No,
eating
it's like that is far too unhealthy to have for lunch.
What difference if it's you eat it at noon or 6 o'clock?
No, absolutely nothing.
Actually,
But
it's probably healthier.
probably
for you
better
to
for
eat
you
it
to
at
eat it
lunch.
at lunch.
You
Yeah.
have
have
to
more
burn it off a
days,
little.
more hours
Yeah.
in the day to burn
Fair
it off.
enough. All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right, you've
just-
convinced me.
You're just weird.
My food line that I
Bread.
don't cross is gluten. That's for everyone's sake. I'll say the other one is like I can't leave a pint of ice cream unfinished. Like if I'm getting like a Ben and Jerry's or a Haagen-Dazs
That's a one sitting.
and I open it, I'm finishing.
That's one serving.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
if
They wouldn't put
I'm like
I mean, you want to get freezer burn.
yeah, if
Right,
I
freezer
get
burn's
halfway
worse.
through it, I'm just like, oh, I'm full. I'm like, I'm not putting this back.
Well,
in
if
the
you get
freezer.
halfway down, you've actually eaten more than half of it because it's smaller as you get down.
It's tapered.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
so you're
right,
already
yeah.
there. You might as well
Might
finish.
as well finish it.
I will say though, the Talenti gelatos are straight tubes. They're not
well,
trapezoids.
They're fancy.
Anthony Tony says hot dogs only for lunch, not dinner.
Okay.
See, now I do feel like hot dogs are a lunch food.
Hot dogs on the grill.
But hot dogs on the grill are for dinner.
Right. Yeah. For both.
Sure.
About grilled cheese. Is that a lunch? Can you have grilled cheese for dinner?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
All right.
Throw a tomato in there and you're fancy.
Or some Charlie the Bacon Guy's bacon
Yes.
Well,
Charlie.
that's a given.
and tomato soup.
all right.
Mm.
All right, let's do it. So Lollapalooza starts today. I think I recognize, I don't know, I got to look at the lineup. There's got to be someone I know.
Yeah, there is.
There's some bands.
There's like
Every year I do this, and every
It gets
year I'm
less
like,
and less. I think I had 11 this year.
this
that
is
I've
no
actually
longer
heard
for.
of.
Okay, I know Megan Thee Stallion.
I know of her. Yes,
I
know
like
she
her a lot.
exists.
I know Hosier.
I know.
I
SZA.
know
of him.
Megan the Stallion.
Yes.
Meg the Stallion.
I know the Killers, overrated. I know Blink 182.
First two albums are great. Yeah,
I've heard of Skrillex.
I've heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Corey Feldman's alter ego, right?
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's
No.
He
He
looks
kinda
like
looks
Corey-
like him,
he looks
though.
like
Yes.
Corey
Kinda
Feldman.
looks like him.
I know Leifei. Do you guys know Leifei? Laufey. She's Icelandic and Chinese, and she's like,
No.
I think she's 26, but she sings like old style jazz. It's amazing.
That's cool.
She's great,
Okay.
and
I'll
she's
check it
playing
out.
with the Chicago Philharmonic. I think you would really like
That's
her.
cool.
She's
All
great.
right, I'll check that out.
I've discovered her on the Nora Jones is Playing Along podcast, where she brings in friends and they talk and then they play music. It's amazing.
Nice.
But Chapel Roan, I know
Heard of her.
Chicharrones, I like those.
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones are good too.
blowing up.
Don't know that.
Boy, it's yeah.
It's not
Tate McRae, I know, hockey fan.
only because of the
McRae,
NHL All Star game. That's the
Really,
reason
only
I-
because of the what chaos guys.
Boy, it's every year.
It's
I
not
feel
for me.
less and less connected.
Less and less. Yep.
It's
That's
hard.
what happens.
It's not for me anymore, and I'm okay with that. I have a fest catered to me in September.
Well, I don't know this band, but they're my new favorite band, Post Sex Nachos.
There you go.
Hey, I'll
Now
be
is that for
honest.
lunch or
Now
for dinner?
I'm getting their T-shirts.
Are they doing an after show?
They're playing Sunday.
I do feel like my main way of listening to music now is through Spotify, and within Spotify, I use Release Radar every week, and it serves me these bands. It's like, oh, this is really good. Who's this? And the names are just crazy.
Yeah,
I
get
feel like they're
creative.
like AI created names. Like, I mean,
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some bands just say, create us a band name. And
yeah,
they
there's so
get
many
one.
bands now that it's like,
Yeah.
how do you even figure out?
Hey,
a
all the
name
cool
that
ones have
hasn't
been taken.
Yeah.
Metallica,
Well, that-
Black Sabbath,
That's
the
a
two coolest names
that's a
ever.
theory that will keep me up at night. Is that at some point, all music will have been made, because there's only so many notes and there's only so many tempos and configurations that exist, at some point, all music will be made if the sun doesn't blow up first.
It will.
I don't know if I like post-sex nachos that much anymore because I saw their picture, and I don't think any of these guys have actually eaten post-sex nachos because they look like 5 virgins.
Well, I also can't have those anymore because I get heartburn.
Like those are that's post-sex nachos.
That's what the girls go for these days, by the way.
All
so
right, well,
yeah.
Again, I mean, these guys definitely
Vegan nachos. That's
these
probably
guys
what they're
were
eating.
all in the AV club in high school. There's no doubt about it. I mean, good for them, but catchy name. But that's some dorks right there.
Are they going to wear those wool jackets at the concert?
I hope so. They better.
All right, why don't we go, just for the sake of this, why don't we go youngest to oldest? And when we reveal
so
our
it's
lineups
my
here.
turn first?
I think I'm older than you, right?
By about
12, 7, 7?
yeah, you got me a little over a year.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
All right,
Mario.
yeah, that's fine. All right, well, welcome to Mario's Fire Fest. I promise you our food will be better. And
We have 2 cheeses on our sandwich.
2 slices of cheese. So night 1, I'm going to call the pop punk night. Our opener is my buddy's band Action Adventure.
All right.
Check them out if you haven't. They
I
are
actually listened to a little bit of them today, researching for Riot Fest.
sweet,
Not
sweet.
too shabby.
Yeah, they're going to play at Riot Fest. They're awesome guys. Their music's really great. If you really love that like early 2000s like pop punk sound, they have that going for them. They're great. They're going to be opening up for Avril Lavigne, and this is going to be Avril Lavigne all pre 2010. So this is all her mega hits.
Skater Boy Avril Lavigne.
Skater Boy.
Chad Kroger, Avril Lavigne.
Yes, yeah. Skater Boy, I'm With You, Girlfriend, Complicated, all the hits. She's going to be the second act, and then the headliner of night 1 is going to be Fall Out Boy, Chicagoland's own. That's a show that I've never seen them live. I really do want to see them live. I know they're a much different vibe to the band than when they were hugely popular now, but I'll still go see them.
Are they going to light some ups?
Yeah, I hope to see many mups lit.
2 of those 3 bands are playing the Friday of Riot Fest.
Yes, they are. I'm maybe available that day.
Stacy loves Fall Out Boy, and she's going to be right up front for their set at Riot Fest, and I will be at the further stage away from
Sounds like some good post-sex snack shows.
I will be at whatever stage No Effects is playing at.
There you go.
Oh, the
So-
Brews. I love the Brews.
They're playing all 3 nights. It's their last shows
all
in
of them.
Chicago.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
make the most of it.
Punk
Night
rock
2
legends.
is going to be the grunge night and also Dead lead singer night.
Nice.
Soundgarden opens up with Chris Cornell's Hologram. Then Alice in Chains will be the second act with Lane Staley's Hologram, and then Nirvana headlines night 2 with Kurt Cobain's Hologram on lead. And then Dave Grohl will hang around for night 3, because night 3 will be opened by Rage Against the Machine, followed by Foo Fighters, and Mario's Fire Fest is closed out by the greatest band of all time, Pearl Jam.
a 3.5-hour set.
Yes, absolutely.
78 songs.
Unlimited,
Yep.
unlimited time. You can
Nice.
play as long as you want. So,
That's
yeah.
good. By the way,
That's my
I did
music
mention the
fest.
Killers are overrated. I don't have enough Killers knowledge to say so. I will say that the song "Mr. Brightside" is held in this massive regard musically.
I love that song.
It's a good song, but it's like the 5th best on that album.
I think it might be an age thing.
Their
It's like, is
first-
it like an? I would imagine that's right in your wheelhouse.
It's come back around.
Is
it's,
it?
it's
was
come
it
back
like,
around as
What
like
was
a,
it like an
X's
anthem
and-
when you were growing up?
It was really popular when I was in high school, because the Killers, that was like their on
Heyday.
the scene like song. So it got really popular around then, and then I think people have just like, there's just been a low simmer on that song for a long time. People just always like it. It's very recognizable. It's very easy to sing along to. And then it's had a resurgence in the last few years. I think it's getting like, a new generation is discovering it, and I think it's getting into a lot of arenas now, like sporting events. And again, it's a crowd. It's an easy crowd song. So
Yeah.
I think big sporting events like really get into it.
Okay.
I was into the Killers when they first came out. Hot Fuzz and Sam's Towns, their first 2 records, are really good. I still enjoy them. And then after that, they kind of got a little too poppy for me. But I saw him live back in the day in the Samstown tour. It's a great show. Awesome show.
Fair enough. I should not make sweeping criticisms of bands I've heard like 2 songs from.
Yeah, jerk.
I'm sorry. Except Train. I know
Except
they
Train.
suck.
They
Hey.
They're terrible. They will not be playing Greg Fest. All right. The first thing I'm doing for me is I'm not calling my festival Lollapalooza because I don't want to attract a Lollapalooza crowd.
Good move.
I'm an old man.
Ooh,
I want
hey.
nothing but old men.
What are you going to call it?
I'm going to call it Greg Fest. I'm going to call it the best fest ever. Night 1, I'm going to go with some mellow, some feelings. My nights are kind of, tried to make them as different from each other as possible.
Okay.
So night 1, we're going to have Failure, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. Fantastic Planet, their album, that is like top 4 record by anybody. So they're going to go, we're going to have New Order, but it has to be with original bass player Peter Hook. The New Order that tours without Peter Hook is not New Order. Sorry.
Fair enough.
No. Got to have Peter Hook with New Order. We're going to feel some feelings. Then we're really going to feel some feelings with The Cure headlining. Saw them last year at Riot Fest. They're an amazing live band. They're one of those bands that could play for like 3 hours and you don't even know it. They have so many great songs. So we're going to do a little mellow. We're going to cry a little bit. It's going to be fun.
right.
Night 2, total just loud guitar, good old-fashioned American rock and roll.
This is what we're going to call this baseball writers night.
Yes. Drive-By Truckers with Jason Isbell.
Yes, 100%.
Jason Isbell is one of my favorite artists, but I'd rather see him play with his old band than with his current band. I think that like the 2 records that he's on and his songs with the Truckers are fantastic. That'd be like a dream set. And then I'm bringing back Tom Petty. We're going to resurrect him. One night only, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Great live act. So many sing-alongs. And then we end the night with the greatest to ever do it. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band play for 4 hours. You're going to have to, we're going to start night 3 a little later so you can recover from night 2.
Like that.
You're going to need to take a break. And then night 3, we're going to do a little counterculture. We're going to get a little angry, but we're still going to have a lot of fun. Social Distortion, one of my favorite punk bands, storytelling, rockabilly punk bands of all time. Mike Ness, one of the coolest dudes ever. We're bringing back the Ramones. They are one of my favorite bands of all time. And then end it with Pearl Jam because why not?
Why not?
So, I mean, Ramones and Social Distortion are big influences of Pearl Jam. So maybe we can get some
Oh, you'll
cool
get some
little
collabs for sure.
Crossovers.
Yeah,
some
that'd be cool.
special guest appearances.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't even need any other bands. Those 9 bands, I'm good to go. We
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
pretty
need
good.
to fill. I'm going to sleep till 3:00 in the afternoon every day, so we don't need. We don't need
I like that.
any filler.
All right,
Each
so
of those bands are going to play for like 4 hours anyway.
Yeah.
this was a tough one for me. I'm calling this the Get Off My Lawn Festival. First night, we're starting with a bang with My Morning Jacket to get the crowd going.
Nice, nice.
Oh, like a perfect festival band,
yeah.
My Morning Jacket, because they're one of those bands where like I don't think a lot of people know them, and then they're playing live, and you see people like,
They are one of the.
what's going on over there?
They're one of
Yeah.
the best live bands.
That sounds amazing. And then you become a My Morning Jacket fan, and I became a My Morning Jacket fan. I saw them open for Pearl Jam. They played 2 songs. I go, I'll be right back. I'm going to buy all their CDs from the merchandise
exactly
stand.
what happened to me.
I was like, I have to go. And I bought them, and they said, you got the last 3.
Yep. First time I saw
there
them
you
was
go.
opening for Pearl Jam. I think it was 05.
Sounds about
And
right.
They opened with One Big Holiday,
Yep.
and when Jim James opened his mouth to start singing, I was like, I'm a fan.
I'm good.
I love these
Here we
guys.
go. Yes. So My Morning Jacket starts things off. Then we're going to go with Sturgill Simpson. Are we now calling him Johnny Blue Skies? Is this like an official transition?
Nah.
All right, Sturgill Simpson, and with the collaborations in mind, Jason Isbell and the 400 unit will headline. So you'll get Sturgill and Jason playing together, and Jim James from My Morning Jacket's always happy to collaborate. There we go. Night 2, this is going to be the mellow night to let the old people recover a little bit. We're going to invite the sad dads in for the National.
So many New Balances and mustaches.
Oh,
at this
so
show.
many, so many. So the National will get everybody nice and sad. Margot Price is going to get everybody back in the groove, ready to go. And then Willie Nelson's going to do his nice, tight 1-hour set where he plays the hits, sings them, waves everybody. Good night, everybody. Here's my bandana. I just played for an hour. Is everybody high? Terrific. We'll see you next time. Any chance you have to have Willie Nelson play, you have him show up. And then night 3, this is Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll night. We're opening with the original Van Halen, David Lee Roth, Michael Anthony, and I am reverting them back to Van Halen 1 age.
Oh, sure.
So it's not current day weirdo David Lee Roth. It's
nice.
The original David Lee Roth.
That's exciting.
Also, I am bringing back
Van Halen. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. I am also bringing back specifically 1977 Jimmy Buffett. I will not tolerate any Jimmy Buffett after 1977. The stuff like, well, maybe 78. From like the Volcano album back, Jimmy Buffett is fantastic. And if you like the music I like and you're like, Jimmy Buffett, like the guy like Fins and Cheeseburger in Paradise, trust me, Volcano backwards.
There was a time he was an
notch.
actual like country music
Yes.
performer.
I
He
have
wasn't,
actually you could
caricature.
search for them they're on both Apple Music and Spotify. I created a playlist called Old Country Buffett, and you can go find all of those great songs that he wrote through. And Steve Goodman wrote a bunch of those songs with him and for him. So 1977 Jimmy Buffett's going to get the good times going. There'll be a haze in the air. Everyone's going to be feeling good.
Happy
Well, they'll still be left over from the end of night 2.
Yes. And then Jerry Garcia is going to come out. Today is his 82nd birthday. Happy birthday, Jerry. With the full Grateful Dead. Everybody's back.
Which era though?
I'm going early to mid 70s.
Okay.
Grateful Dead. That's my favorite era. And I need to hear
the Gachow era, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I can take or leave that, but the rest of the band was on fire then. I need a Morning Dew. I need an Althea. I need to Help Slip Frank, and I'll be happy with whatever else they choose. But night 3 is going to be Old Men Get High and enjoy some Van Halen, Jimmy Buffett, and Grateful Dead. So there you go.
Well,
That's
you gotta come down from your cocaine high from the Van Halen set.
Yeah, see, it's kind of a roller coaster.
You get the downer.
Yeah,
of
you
from
get the
rest of
cocaine,
night.
then Jimmy Buffett comes out. You have a couple
Yes.
margaritas, and then when the Dead come out, you mellow everything out. And then, yeah, there you go. So I did get to see Van Halen with David Lee Roth when they came back, and the vantage point I had, I could just see David Lee Roth being an asshole to roadies the entire night, front stage and backstage, like just being a complete dick. And you could just see Eddie Van Halen like off, like just looking at him like, this guy, like just why are like, I know it's they're trying to make the fans happy and probably get a little bit of cash, but holy God, like, dude, knock it off. Stop being a wang. So hopefully the 70s Van Halen is a little 70s and 80s Van Halen is a little more mellow. But I would love to see them entertaining. And I was also a big Van Hagar fan. Nothing against the Sammy Hagar era.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them both.
Yeah. Two different bands.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Different subject matter, but both good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no one's calling us complete idiots. Anthony Tony says the Replacements, Husker Du, Rancid, Operation Ivy, Transplants, Jiminy Hendrix. Off of their
cricket
heads,
band
great too.
of-
I was
yeah.
I still love Rancid, but when I was in
Rancid's
high school,
great.
Rancid was like my number one band.
Rancid's an awesome live band.
Yeah.
I'm almost tempted to go to the Green Day show at Wrigley Field just to see Rancid.
I know.
But
And now like Tim Armstrong is like all jacked now. Like he's
yeah,
a big muscle head, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Or did he just get big?
I think it's the beard.
Yeah, the beard makes him look big.
makes him look bigger.
Yeah.
The Replacements
Same.
is one of my all-time favorite bands. I love the Replacements.
They had their last show at the Taste of Chicago.
And then they came back and they played Riot Fest, and I had to miss it because I was standing up in a wedding.
Stupid weddings.
Not that I'm bitter about that at all. I think Tim Armstrong just looks bigger today because he, like when Rancid first break, they were poor.
Oh,
And
he
he
was
skinny as
he
hell.
was a
'cause they
true-
weren't eating.
A true punk. We saw them.
Yeah.
I don't remember the venue, but it was the Outcome to Wolves tour, and the show started, and I was like so ready to go. And the punk rockiest thing happened ever. He came out and his amp wasn't working, and he was like, he's real energetic and like the wiry, spindly.
I think that was the rib.
Probably.
I think I was at that show.
And he literally turned around and just boom, kicked the amp, and it started working right on time. It was almost as if it was maybe staged, but it was incredible. It was great. We have to go, right? Is this your timing? All right, someone else. Who's coming?
Matt Forte.
Matt Forte?
Matt Forte.
Yeah, he's
He's
shit.
not here.
All right, yeah, we got to go. All right, Matt Forte's here.
he's calling it. He's calling it.
Oh, because
Oh,
I wanted to ask him why he
wow.
blocked me on Twitter.
Oh, damn.
You should.
Kid, just stay here. Don't
Yeah,
get up until you get your
we-
answer.
I think this
Hey,
would be
guy,
great
remember
content.
you blocking me on Twitter 8 years ago for no reason? I want
And
answers.
Skoke says going to see Metallica on the 11th. Is that
Nice.
our day?
The 9th.
Or the 9th. Okay, well, have fun.
I'm going the
Scopes.
11th too.
Got
though.
us tickets on Game Time.
Nicely
Great job.
done.
Nice.
All right, we'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 2:30. Sorry for the abrupt ending, but Matt Forte is standing by.
Hey,
Talk to you tomorrow at 2:30.
Everything
Love
ends when
you.
the Bears have a show.
Hit the like button. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.